If you watched the impeachment proceedings and you felt like the lawyer shifted to Latin, relax, hindi ikaw ang problema. Legal Latin lang yon. But once you understand the terms, mas madali mong maiintindihan ang laban ng prosecution at ng defense. So, let's talk about these Latin terms. First, ab initio. Ab initio. It means from the beginning. The original Latin pronunciation is ab initio. Ab initio. But if you say ab initio, acceptable na rin yun. In the Black's Law Dictionary, when something is void ab initio, it means it had no legal validity from the very start. It means wala siyang bisa mula sa simula. So, for example, the defense argues that the impeachment proceedings are void ab initio because of alleged constitutional defects. Ang ibig sabihin nun, they are saying na wala raw legal effect ang proceedings or ang impeachment proceedings from the very start. Second, ad cautelam. Ad cautelam. It means by way of caution. Ginagamit ito kapag the party files a, like a pleading or something to protect their rights, but without admitting that the process is valid. For example, the Vice President filed an answer ad cautelam. Ang ibig sabihin nun, sumasagot siya, but with caution. It means she is participating to protect her rights, but she is not necessarily conceding that the impeachment process is valid. It's like the lawyer is saying, sumasagot ako, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun, natanggap ko na tama ang proseso. Third, prima facie. Prima facie. It means on its face. In law, it refers to the evidence that appears sufficient on its face, unless rebutted. Ang ibig sabihin nun, sa unang tingin, may basis ang evidence. The correct Latin pronunciation is prima facie. Prima facie. Pero may mga nagpo-pronounce nito na prima facie. Prima facie, especially mga American lawyers. And this is what we call anglicized Latin pronunciation. Pero in modern times, acceptable na rin ito. So, in using it in a sentence, you can say, for example, the prosecution claims that the videos, the statements, or documents constitute prima facie evidence. Ang ibig sabihin, sa unang tingin, may sufficient basis ang mga videos or mga statements or documents as evidence. But take note, prima facie does not mean proven na ang document or ang statement. It only means na may basis on its face sa unang tingin, unless rebutted by the other side. The next Latin term is sine die. Sine die. It means without a day. Kapag ang session or hearing ay adjourned sine die, ibig sabihin nun walang definite date na naset for the resumption or continuation of the session or proceedings. In American English, they pronounce it as sine die. Sine die. But the correct Latin pronunciation is sine die. Sine die. So for example, the Senate adjourned sine die before the impeachment case could be fully tried. Ang ibig sabihin nun, nag-adjourn ang Senate without setting a specific date for the resumption or continuation of the trial. The next Latin term is sui generis. Sui generis. It means of its own kind, or it is a class of its own. This is very important in the impeachment proceedings because the impeachment proceeding is sui generis. Sui generis. It means hindi sa ordinary na criminal proceedings. Hindi rin sa ordinary na political hearing. It is a constitutional accountability process. It is a class of its own. So for example, an impeachment trial is sui generis, so it cannot be treated like an ordinary criminal trial or an ordinary Senate hearing or inquiry. Ang ibig sabihin nun, special ang impeachment proceedings. May sarili siyang constitutional character. Lastly, subpoena. Subpoena. It literally means under penalty. This is an order for a person either to testify or to bring documents or both under penalty. The original Latin pronunciation is subpoena, subpoena, but most lawyers now pronounce it using the anglicized pronunciation subpoena, subpoena with a silent B. May dalawang klaseng subpoena. One is subpoena duces tecum, which means you have to appear and to bring with you certain documents. And the other is subpoena ad testificandum, which means you have to appear and to give your testimony. But when one is required to bring certain documents and also to testify, then it is called a subpoena duces tecum ad testificandum. So for example, the prosecution may ask for a subpoena duces tecum to require the production of certain, let's say, tax records or bank records or official reports or other documents. Ang ibig sabihin nun, pinapapunta ka at pinapadala sa iyo ang mga dokumento or ebidensya na inilista na korte. Another example, the impeachment court issued a subpoena ad testificandum to require an NBI agent or official to appear and to testify. Ang ibig sabihin nun, pinapapunta ang NBI agent or official para magbigay ng testimony under oath. So, remember the difference. Subpoena duces tecum, appear and produce documents. Subpoena ad testificandum, appear and give your testimony. This is Dean Rob Sarmiento. I hope you learned something from this.